Okay, back to the old basement. So this was a rise and report from our meeting, our committee of whole meeting on November 16th. So I need to have a vote from council on whether to rise and report this. So all in favor? So that's yes. Those opposed? Oh, okay.
The whole thing was not to frustrate the process. This is the administration.
All right. So the rise and report has passed. I will entertain any motions.
I make a motion that we make an amendment to the bylaw and change the trigger point from 100 to 12.
So is there any, I'll entertain any discussion.
Third reading has to be
No.
first.
No, the amendment first.
According to the procedural bylaw, it states that council can make amendments to a bylaw prior to third reading, but then must immediately move to third reading. In fact, the chair has to call third reading once all amendments are seconded. It's a little bit of a strange procedure.
So any discussion on the amendment of moving the trigger point from 100 to 12? I think, yes.
So, regardless of what the trigger point may be, I think that may be difficult for administration to deal with. If this is going to go forward, I prefer the second alternate recommendation from administration, that we go with Alberta Health's enhanced designation for our region. I think it would be simpler and more straightforward. The province controls it. I think the end result would be the same. It just people in the news would hear that Alberta Health has gone to enhanced for our region, and therefore that triggers the next bylaw, as opposed to us trying to get the information from Alberta Health as to how many cases there are in the region. Again, I think it's the same end result. I think it's just a much simpler process for administration.
And enhanced is how many?
It's when it hits the 50 cases per 100,000, which would be 12 or 12.2 or whatever. So it is the same number. It just it's just the designation that comes from the province.
I am not certain that because Alberta Health Services can change that enhanced on a whim because they've done it before. I just don't want to say I don't trust it, but I don't trust it. The enhanced part of it.
The province may introduce mandatory masking tomorrow. So.
Well, they may, but ahead of that, we do know this is, there are several cases of COVID in our community, even though it has not been. So. Really? There's other ways of knowing. So I'm, any other discussion? We have a motion on the table.
Madam Mayor, if we can just clarify, the amendment to section 3 then would be to substitute 12 for 100 and eliminate clause B. So both of those clauses were in that section 3 initially. So the way it's written is you're picking sort of one or either the A or the B.
Well, we'd have to remove it if it passes, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're just clarifying that we're making both of those changes to the section.
Yes.
Mayor, if I recall, did we not remove that second clause already in the previous meeting?
No. Sorry, it's the second portion of sections 3.
Yeah.
What you removed in the previous meeting was the section 6, which referred to the 2-hour time period.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay.
So section 2 is sections 4 to 7 of this bylaw deactivate when the relaunch status is open for area 1 of the north zone for a period not less than
No,
14 days.
sorry, Madam Mayor, just to clarify, in section 3, the way it currently reads, is that section 4 to 7, which is
Yes.
actually, if you read, we've renumbered that to 4A, but you have an A for the total
Yes.
count and a B, a relaunch status.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is the suggestions administration got is go with A and change the number, or go with B. So this section 2 of it would still remain the same.
Yes. So are you looking at your bylaw? So are you asking in your motion, just to clarify, that section B would be removed? Because section B states a relaunch status changed by either the municipality or the enhanced status. So if we go with a trigger of 12, we're gonna have to remove B.
Not necessarily. The province could move the, enhanced status to 5. Like it's,
What do you mean?
so let's say that we set our trigger at 12, and then the province changes the enhanced status rather than increasing it, it drops it down. So I think B can still stay. The issue is gonna be with section 2, that this bylaw deactivates when the relaunch status is open. It doesn't say anything about the numbers falling below 12.
That would have to be changed.
That's up to council.
Well, if you read it, council, are you all looking at this? Section 4 to 7 of this bylaw deactivates when the relaunch status is open for area 1 of the north zone of the Alberta Health Service for a period of not less than 14 days. So we would have to change that to state it deactivates when the relaunch status is below 12.
The relaunch status would come out, it would just say we deactivate when the total active case counts falls is 11 or less.
For 14 days. Isn't that what I said?
We just said the relaunch status.
It deactivates when cases go above.
Yeah,
No,
that's when it drops below.
Oh, right.
Below
It
12.
activates.
Okay,
Sorry.
the mass bylaw will activate at 12 and deactivate when it's less than 12 for 14 days.
So that was my point. If we simply deleted 3 sub 1 sub A, the rest of it is perfect. Province moves us to enhanced status, and if we drop out of enhanced status into open, and it stays like that for 14 days, then the bylaw deactivates.
And we're saying we don't trust the enhanced status.
And how are you trusting the numbers that you're getting? They all come from Alberta Health.
So in enhanced status, when we first went into watch, was like 50-some cases. Now it's 12. So, the province can move it at its whim. But council sticks to 12.
Sean says the healthcare experts is one of them.
We're not arguing healthcare experts. So. We have a motion on the table. So the motion on the table is what, Councillor Jessamine?
That the trigger point would be 12, and we would deactivate once it goes lower than 12 or more than 14 days.
Administration, do you have that?
Are you striking B?
Yes.
So the clarification is option 1, but setting the deactivation as a drop below 12. rather than-
Yes.
Councillor Force? No.
Councillor Forrest, did you say something? Oh. Okay, so I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the resolution? Those against? Carried.
This was something else.
Is there any other amendments?
Without making an amendment, can we have a general discussion on that issue?
Yes.
Apparently, the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is one of the hotspots in the U.S., just introduced their masking bylaw, but they deleted any penalty provisions. So in other words, it's something that they're requesting people to do, but it takes it away from the enforcement issue. So officers, again, there's pluses and minuses with that. Are we really going to get them to enforce this? Are we going to? The province isn't going to prosecute a municipal bylaw. We have to hire our own counsel. It would be probably, Clark can tell us, $10,000 to $15,000 per case. Is that really the goal, or this is more directed to request people to wear these?
I would say, in my opinion, that it's more of a directive to ask people to wear these. To be cognizant of the fact that this is happening in our community right now, and to prevent some further spread of it. It was never my intention from the get-go of charging people. I thought it would be more of an education.
So I will move to further amend the bylaw to delete section 8 and 9.
Any other discussion from council? No?
So it would be section 7, 8, and 9.
Further amend the bylaw to delete section 7 and 8.
7, 8,
Penalty
and 9.
phase.
Now 3 people just spoke.
Sorry.
So
Well, I'm the mayor, I have the right to speak,
please speak.
to amend, or to delete those sections.
And the sections are, Madam Mayor.
7, 8, and 9.
Thank you.
Well, sorry, Madam Mayor, may I suggest to the deputy mayor also to eliminate Schedule B then?
So,
Eliminate Schedule B.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah, this is where it starts to get messy, and I mean, so we use an example of the grocery store. So it's a public space, we have bylaw that is requesting it, so when we have certain people that are choosing not to do it, so, and we can't even educate them, so there's nothing that we can do. That's what we're saying. So they can walk right into that building.
I guess so.
There's going to be people that are going to walk in there regardless. The question is, where do we carry enforcement?
And this is what I want to talk about, right?
We also have an existing trespass bylaw that can be used to handle this. Probably a lot easier than adding another bylaw, another portion of the bylaw to try and deal with the people who will not comply. It's a lot easier to trespass somebody out of a building or store than it is to add another punitive section to this bylaw.
Yes.
I think the enforcement aspects need to stay in. I know it's none of our intents to go around passing out tickets to everybody, but without that, I don't feel that the bylaw has much to stand on. I think we need the enforcement and penalties ability in there to utilize if we need to. I would love to see our administration and our bylaw officers take on a educational role with this, and ourselves too, when we see infractions, but to remove that, I think then there's no legs to the bylaws.
Anybody else? A few council meetings back, it was the intention of this bylaw to educate people. And you're absolutely right, removing it removes the teeth. We talked about our bylaw officers not being there. Well, I mean, I agree with everybody, but I don't want this bylaw to become punitive. And people think that we're just trying to get money from it, because we're not. It's a healthcare issue, and if the province mandates it, who's going to collect the fines then?
The ERC.
Who's going to enforce it?
If the province introduces it, then the ERC.
So who's going to take them to court?
Then the province, the provincial crown will prosecute. Any provincial offenses are prosecuted by the province, any municipal
And
bylaws.
what is the chances of that passing? The province just throwing them out, the judge, the crown. So we're taking the same chances with our bylaw, right? Okay. So any other discussion? So with that, the amendment is to remove the penalty phases of this bylaw. So the question, I will call the question, all in favor of removing the penalty phases? 2. Those not in favor? 4. 5. Okay, so the next would be to call third reading.
Madam Mayor, the way that we're interpreting the procedural bylaw, if there are no further amendments, the chair calls the question for third reading.
Okay. I will call third reading then. All in favor of third reading? Yes. Carried. Those opposed? Carried.